Welcome from Perth to the Synth Geekery Show from Ranzee's channel. It's not Ranzee today, and actually I'm not even in this Ranzee studio. I am in Copenhagen, and this is not working too well. There's a lot of shadows, and the keying is strange. But we have some guests today, and Chris is one of them. Welcome, Chris. I muted you, so I'll unmute you. Not quite. Try. You try to unmute yourself. Chris, you're still muted. I don't know what's happening. Okay, let's try with Ian.
Hello.
You shouldn't be muted. Hello.
Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. Good day, good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you speak while... Oh, okay.
I'm back again.
I was just about to ask Ian to speak while you moved your mouth.
So, Chris becomes my ventriloquist dummy. That sounds like a good thing to me.
I have to turn down my monitor. Yeah. I think there was supposed to be more guests.
Should be Daren should be turning up.
Daren,
perhaps he missed the StreamYard link that Ranzee sent.
Andy SynthAddict should be hopefully joining us soon.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I have Darren's mail here. Do any of you have it? So you can send.
I don't have it close.
Okay, I'll put the invite in the comments, and then I'll kick people who's not invited. At least to begin with. Later we will open up, but we have a few sections to do first. So boom, the invite. I have it here. Here are the comments. Good. So this is for Daren and for Andy. Then I hope they jump in. What about Andrew?
Andy Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a regular anymore, but he just pop in from time to time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends whether he's. I think he's back on his term started again.
Yeah.
So
Saturdays are a bit more difficult.
Yeah. So he's probably
Okay.
not going to turn up today.
Shall we begin with the show, or should we talk about what you've done during the week?
We'll leave that up to you, leader.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, you speak for half an hour, and then afterwards.
Wow. I thought I'm not the one who speaks all the time, although I never intend to, but I end up speaking way too long. Rambling.
That's why you're on.
So. I'm beginning to wonder. Well, what have I done this week? That's what I always say to myself when I come on the stream. But I've been doing music this week, so that's a good thing.
Cool.
Working with the tracker over there. Hang on, I'll just stand by for a moment. Hopefully I should be able to do... Was it? No, not that one. Mr. Tracker over there is doing trackery things. The new MIDI upgrade for the tracker is gives you extra 4 MIDI tracks. I've been mucking around with the MIDI on that. It's been great. We're working with the TD3, good old 303 lines.
Oh yeah.
And it's been great fun syncing that up to the Polygon tracker. And I've even been driving some MIDI on the Pro 800. Doing some stuff there, so you can see it in the background. And then I realised I've got far too much, as it always happens in my studio. I kind of set things up, and then things get put in front of those things that I set up, and then more things get put in front of other things because I buy more things, and then when I go to need the thing that's at the back, like a MIDI through box, for example, I can't reach it. It's too far back now, and it's like, oh no, I have to remodel the studio again because I can't reach that MIDI through box. So I was wrestling with MIDI cables and daisy chaining and got things working anyway. Enough to go, oh, I like those two lines together. Plus. So yeah, bit of live kind of tracker work. I've also been recording a certain instrument for a video, which we might be seeing during the show, hopefully. And apart from the usual, I got our bloody Wi-Fi working. I can use that word. Yes, I had to find the right combination of switching the old system off and switching the new system on. But I managed to find a solution which is a heck of a lot more stable. I've even been able to take our set-top box and move it back to where it belongs, and now Mum and Dad are happy because they get to watch their television programs, and they can watch the F1, which is another good thing. So hopefully they're off doing that now. So yeah, just that, and I haven't done much on the circuit design. Bit too busy this week with other stuff. But apart from that, yeah, just chilling, watching videos about synths and product releases.
Like we do.
Like we all do, yes.
Yeah. I think you're muted, Henrik.
You're muted, Henrik. You're muted, Henrik.
Still.
Oh yeah.
Now start again.
It just shows you what Rant does. It's harder than it looks, doesn't it? It's really, it's not easy. But good on you for stepping up.
What happened was
easy.
I was trying to find out which buttons to press because the design has changed because I had to degrade my StreamYard subscription because they changed everything and not everything. They changed the prices and the plans. Yes. So suddenly I had to pay $88 a month instead of $49.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just automatically. So hadn't I found out, I would have paid it.
Nasty.
Mad. So I had to degrade my plan.
Downgrade it.
And now some things are missing that I had before. So I all the things I've set up with, not all of them, but some of the things I've set up with how to change designs and that. Are gone. So it's just different.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, Ian, what have you done during
So
the week?
this week, I mean, last week's show, I don't know you were actually in the chat at the time, but I said I was going to go to something called the Clinker Club last Saturday night, which was in Frome. I mean, I'm not in Frome today, I'm in London, but more about that in a minute. So I did go to the Clinker Club, which sounds like some sort of S&M type thing. It wasn't. It was an experiment. It was an experimental music night that started off weird, and then got progressively stranger and dafter as the night went on. Really. I mean, I did show a bit of footage, which I will probably put up on my YouTube channel at some point. But it was, I mean, and I like weird, but this was almost too weird for me this night. We had sort of very experimental films with people running around taking their trousers off and playing weird music, and it was very, very strange. You know, I'm looking forward to the next one, to be honest, because it will be different. You know, I don't know whenever they have one. So what else have I been doing? I've been meeting people who want to help me with Sinners Music records. So I put a call out for people to people to volunteer to help, really, because there's obviously no money. There's no money in the channel at all, really. Yes, and I've met a couple of people, and I'm going to start working with at least one of them. Sinners Music now has a T-shirt available. There's my plug, which you can buy from our. I will have a copy. I mean, actually, it arrived. It they tried to deliver it yesterday when I was on my way to London. So it will be arriving at Sinners Music Headquarters on Tuesday when I'm back. So you can buy it. It's on our eBay shop. It's quite expensive though. I mean, I can't do anything about the price, I'm afraid, because obviously we're not buying loads in. They're almost to order. But Sinners Music Records with the Sin 001 number. Now, the way the record label works is every time we put a release out, it's a bit like factory records. We give it an allocation number, so we're up to about Sin 45, I think we are. But there was never ever a Sin number 1. So I thought the T-shirt should be Sin 001. So and then that. So came to London yesterday to see a concert last night at the Union Chapel, which was Suzanne Ciani, which she was there, but sadly, and the Union Chapel is an amazing venue. So if any of you guys haven't managed to get over to UK, go, because it's brilliant. But sadly, Suzanne's Butler synth didn't arrive. It is somewhere lost in transit with the air company that she shipped with. So it wasn't quite the concert that she expected. We had a pre-recorded concert that she'd recorded. It was still in quadraphonic, recorded in China, and then she turned it into a very, very interesting Q&A about basically how she makes music. So she did brilliantly well. I mean, bless her. She said she hadn't slept very much because she's trying to find it for the last 5 days. Which you've got to. I mean, it's a unique instrument. You know, it's been modified by her over decades, and we can only hope that it turns up. Really,
absolutely. That's scary.
But it was pretty much sold out. I think there was a few empty seats, but not many. It was about 400 people. And it was a great night considering what she had to work with, really.
Yeah, made the most of it.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm in London. So I'm here for that, and I've stayed
different
the weekend.
Location. I thought it looked different.
I'm back where I was when we lived here for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but no, interesting week. It's a good week, really. You know, haven't done much music. I've been back doing bits and pieces with my OPZ. Which obviously goes everywhere with me, you know. So
nice case.
So, but I mean, actually, that's a deck saver that came with it. Yep. Yeah, which is brilliant.
Nice.
And this thing is actually, I have a little stand for my laptop here, and that's what that is. So it works. It's I wasn't going to spend a fortune on a case for it when it's got a deck saver, but it's brilliant. I mean, I love doing that stuff on the train. So stick the headphones in. I'm on a train for 2 hours. Happy days, really. So that's it, really. How about you, Henrik? What's your week been like?
Oh, one day at the hospital again.
Oh,
but sorry, this time it was a false alarm.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I find. Yeah. Two things. The problem with my bladder and prostate, and I thought it was that this time, but it turned out it was a side effect of the medicine I got last week when it was the heart.
Wow. Yeah.
The heart, it doesn't seem to be that bad, so it will be looked after. I
Fingers
have
crossed.
An appointment next month and got some medicine for that until then. And that medicine then gave me those side effects, which turned out that the other thing was false alarm. So everything seems actually fine. I did have some extra tests where I feared I still had an infection or something, but no growth, so everything is fine. So now I'm just awaiting them to terminate all that and plan what's next. And I hope that's a surgery, so it will not come again. So that's a plan for that. Besides that, I played with a drum lock for almost a month. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I really liked it at the beginning, but now I think it's it should be much cheaper, then it would be good. If it was around $250, it would be the right price.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I mean, I when the first time I played it, I thought I loved it.
Yeah.
Spent a good sort of, it was in a show, but it was still sort of 20, 30 minutes I messed around with it. But I thought it was slightly overpriced, and I still think it's slightly overpriced. You know?
Yeah, it is. It is cheaper now, but it's still a little too pricey. So,
Hi, Andy.
Hi.
Hey guys, sorry, I had some computer issues. So fun.
Oh yes, I didn't mention my computer issues. I'll mention it at the end of the show.
I had to actually switch browsers. It's the dumbest thing. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Whenever I have to share something from a screen, I have to do it in another browser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I do this show from Chrome.
I'm doing it from Chrome now.
I do all of my actual behind the scenes checking the stream or looking up things with Firefox.
Yeah, I still have Firefox. I don't have Firefox on this machine, but the Studio Mac, I have Firefox. I don't normally use Chrome apart from this show, and I've used Firefox on here. It's worked okay in the past, but
I couldn't get Chrome or Edge to work. I had to use Opera today, of all things.
Oh, so, yeah, I've got Opera.
I'm in Opera right now.
Yeah. Opera works fine on here. I've done that in the past, yeah.
Well, the camera keeps getting hogged by something. Nothing is running, and I've rebooted. Keeps saying the camera's in use. The camera is not in use by anything. So Opera didn't seem to care. So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. How has your week been, Andy?
Oh, usual stuff. Just did a few. Well, I did one this week and one last week. Little audio demos again. One this week was the Theremin with the Pog. Last week was the JP8000. Just screwing around, getting back to the routine again, doing little demo stuff. And the usual hardware jams stuff. So I didn't even look at the topic as this week yet, but yeah, I was keeping busy with some little silly stuff. But happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to have you, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, should we first we have to say hello to all the chatters.
Yes.
Always nice to see you. And yes, I'm not in Perth. I'm not Ranzee.
I can tell you who got the Guernsey today. That was Robbie, Failed Muso. He got in first.
Oh, did he?
Ah.
Yeah.
What do he win?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
This is
the knowledge that he was first in.
Yeah.
Although tonight we are kind of giving something away if the end of the show, aren't we? Henrik?
We are.
That's good. Yeah. Shall I make it known what's coming up later in the show? As Ranzee usually does?
No.
No, I'll keep it safe.
Let's surprise people.
Yep.
I look forward to that then. I'm going to stay till the end for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
I hope it's worth the wait.
Yeah.
But let's do this one first.
Excellent.
So now I just have to find where I put them.
Where are they?
Here they are. So let's start with this one.
Now this is a PC thing more than a Mac thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah, I feel
the torch is bearing down on us PC.
I have been known to use cracked software in the past when I was on PC, when I was poor.
Who hasn't, right? So
It's how you evaluate things.
I used when I was still on PC. I used Live. I think it was Live 7 or 8 on PC. So yeah. Sorry, copyright police. I buy software now. I can just about afford it.
Yeah.
We have a few of these memes. So this was number one, and this one.
oh, that's a bit vicious.
Yes.
Can you guess who it's from?
Yes, I think we can. The only thing missing is a lovely dog or two in the back.
Yeah, I'm going to say where's Lily?
It should have a
poking
should
her head
have,
up the corner.
if it was an up-to-date photo, wouldn't it have a bite mark in it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Okay, next one.
Yep, that does seem
That's
like
it,
going through your wish list.
That sums it up for me.
Yeah. That one is from Kiev. The first one was from me, but it's stolen from a memes group. And then this one from Lady Aptitude. And we have to say it was what was it called? It was a pirate day, an international pirate.
Talk like a pirate day, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's why it looks like this, and it continues.
Looks are harmonics.
Yeah. And continues.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
And it continues. And
she doesn't get extra points for submitting multiples of them. Sorry.
yeah, sorry. And the last one is this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I have to admit, I did always think that. I thought, man,
That's
it looks
really
like
cool. I like that.
does look like a synth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the great routine, the insult comic dog puppet thing, where he goes to a Darth Vader guy in a costume and goes, "Which button calls your parents to pick you up?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So which one? Let's ask the chatters first. Which one was the best? And
So we
now I
had,
can't show what the chatters are saying, but
I can read.
yeah.
I can. Yeah.
Voice sense at least. Another winner. Harmonix. That's
Harmonix, yeah.
I must say,
Two
I
for the
like
pirate.
the Ahoy.
one for Vader. I'm using my hands
I'm
on
going to go for Vader. I like the
Yeah.
Vader. I didn't know about this pirate thing.
That's 3. Split at the moment. It is
Yeah,
still
pirate
the
thing's
pirate
going on
thing.
for at least 20, 30
Oh,
years.
we had
Is it really?
Vader's
Yeah.
taking the starting to
Just-
take the lead. Vader is starting to take
Yeah.
the Yes, Vader
Vader.
Yeah.
has taken the strong lead.
I think
I
it's
think-
a pink noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Shall we say Vader?
I think
Yeah.
we should. Yes.
Thanks, Wagyu. 19th. I'll know next year. I'll get my pirate hat out.
There's just too many days. If you tell Google to fill up your calendar with all of the days it is, there'd be no day free.
Yeah. Apparently,
Every day would have something day somewhere.
There's something. Yeah, tomorrow in London it is car-free day. So apparently, I've only just found this out. They're closing 200 roads around London, which I'm sure will cause absolute chaos.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't got a car here, so we're not bothered. We're going to go on the tube. But so tomorrow is car-free day.
So it's car-free day or unofficial go on the tube day.
Yeah. I mean, the tubes will be absolutely heaving, won't they?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Is it warm? Still warm in England at the moment?
It is. It's just started raining, actually. It's raining quite heavily. I'm just looking out here. Yeah, but it's warm. It's warmer down here than it is in Frome, because it was quite chilly when we left Frome yesterday morning. But it's lovely down here. It's really nice and warm. It's been sunny last night and then sunny today. But apparently it's going to throw it down all day tomorrow. Going to lots of rain tomorrow. There's your weather forecast for the UK.
Welcome to the Weather Channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do everything here. We just don't talk about things. We do weather as well.
Yeah.
You get it all free.
Yeah. Well, we English, we're absolutely obsessed with the weather. We absolutely are.
Yeah. We know when you come down here.
Yeah. And every day is the same because it's always warm.
It's still it's 1 degree less warm than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We know that happens. Haven't you been to someone about this?
It's the same.
Can you
in Britain.
Yeah.
It's the same in Britain. Every day is the same. It's always raining.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, you've got a point there, actually. Yeah. Although I do, what I have noticed is living in the southwest of England now, rather than the north, it is genuinely 2 degrees warmer down south. I think it's even warmer in London, but yeah. So.
But the rain is positive.
Yeah, it is.
It's why it's green.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's move on, and I have to say I need some help with the next one because I don't know much about these products, but we'll try. And I must say, Chris has already promised me to help. So shall we start with one of your products?
Yeah,
Not yours,
pop it up on the screen if you can.
Yeah, let's see.
That's probably a good start.
Let's take the right one. I have
Which
to change
one?
here.
Not that one.
There. No, I know. There. Let's take that
There
one.
you go. Scroll down a bit.
I can't
Get
play the videos. I promised.
No.
Ranzee
But
not
just
to do that.
if you can make the image of the actual module bigger, it's probably the best thing to do.
Let's
If you
show
could
the
open it in
background
a new
image.
tab, that'd be great.
Yeah. That's not that background image. There.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is from DivKit and Making Sound Machines. It's eurorack, sorry people. There's only 2 eurorack products in this today's news, I promise.
There you go. Robbie will be pleased with that, won't he?
Yeah. It'll only hurt for a short while.
Yeah.
So so what we have here from DivKit and Making Sound Machines is a 4-channel trigger and gate processor. How to explain this best? Well, I mean, we can't play this video, unfortunately, because of, the copyright problems that we have. However, the way it basically works is that each one of those pots with the ring of cool LEDs, cool ring of LEDs, you can set to a different function, and I'll just tell you what those functions are. It can produce. So there's 4 of them on this module, and it has a Bernoulli gate mode, a clock divider mode, a Turing machine mode, a Euclidean split and a Euclidean classic mode, a ramp gate length delay generator, which requires some explaining, but best if you actually watch the video because it's kind of interesting. I can talk about it later if you want though. Retrigger and gate length and delay, which I didn't see in the video. He's probably going to show that some other time. And a pattern generator, which is basically a set of predefined like drum patterns, which I think they just tacked on the end because they had needed to fill up the number of slots. Why does that sound familiar? It has A and B outputs for each trigger mode, so it'll spit stuff out the A channel and spit stuff out the B channel, and they kind of affect each other. So if you make an adjustment to the A, it changes what's coming out on the B, and it can create some interesting sort of counterpointing sort of percussion rhythms and stuff like that. It has this other function, which are these 2 mute groups. So you can see in the middle there's a switch with an M1 and an M2 next to it. Each one of those pots actually also has a switch in it, so you can push it to mute the channel from generating any triggers at all. And you have you have 2 banks of those settings, so you can switch between 2 different sort of setups. So if you've got, say, a particular percussion rhythm or something going on for one song, and then you flick it over to the one on the right and that changes it, or you can use it as variations within your song, which is quite cool. It processes is a switch on the front as well for adjusting whether you're accepting triggers or accepting gates. So it can handle either percussion duties or actual, note on, note offy type things. Each one of the pots has a CV input as well, so you can basically CV control, modulate the settings on each of those modes. And that's pretty much it. The actual price for the unit is about $250 fully built, which is about, I think it's about 200 pounds, around about 200 euros.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it kind of varies a bit depending on whether you're VAT and all that kind of stuff, which does my head in. The DIY kits are also available for it, though, for a pretty staggering price, I think. It's about 124 British pounds, which is impressive, I have to say. Kind of intimidating if you're a modular synth manufacturer like me. But this is mass production, people. This is making sound machines. They have a large array of modules. They have a pretty impressive buying power. They've had a manufacturer produce these special knobs with push buttons in them. No one else has ever had that before.
Wow.
So I think you're going to see these appear on a few of their modules, because I can't imagine they paid for all of that R&D and development for a manufacturer on basis of just this, the sales of this module. However, the sales of this module do seem to be pretty insane. They sold out within about 4 or 5 hours at all the different vendors. That's both the built modules and the kits. So it's the other thing I just wanted to mention as well is that those LED rings, which are kind of impressive. I think I actually remember? Yes. If you could switch to me for a moment, full screen, Henrik. Yeah, that's what they look like. If you see just sorry, up there.
Yeah.
You see how they're actually indicating things like where the events are coming from, and where you can actually use these LED rings to actually visualize. They actually tell you what they're doing. So this is although Daren isn't here quite for us to get the flashing lights angle, but I'm sure he would love these. If he was still in eurorack land, he would probably love this. But being he was in the game when it was all the mutable instruments, and there's some overlap here with the mutable instruments branches and things like that. So there's a similar sort of feature set going on. But this is
say, Chris, I'm not into eurorack, but I love them. I think they're brilliant. I want to see more synths with them on. They're fantastic.
Yeah, actually, Rance mentioned that it reminded him of was it the Slim Fatty? I think I had LED rings on some of its encoders. The cool thing
Chatties have those ring encoders. Yeah.
The thing that I note looking at it from a electronics point of view, these are RGB rings, which I've not, and they're very, very small. Very small LEDs, RGB LEDs. I've not seen that before. So, me one too.
Actually,
something like that.
Actually, we don't have time to use everything we have. So, wouldn't it just be nice to have things like that flashing? It doesn't have to.
Yes. Yes. So the point you're making, Ranzee, sometimes it is just fun just to have the lights flashing. Oh, gee.
Which I missed. Who's the company he worked with on this? Because he did a lot of stuff with Bafako before, but I'm not sure who he's doing.
This is making sound machines.
Oh, okay.
This is a collab between DivKid and Making Sound Machines.
Okay.
So yeah, interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure if I've done one before. I think they have. I think the previous one maybe was. But you're right. He normally collabs with Befako. But there is something else coming up,
which is really cool. It extends my mixer. So
yeah. There is a collab coming up with Befako. Spoiler alert. Yes. So what do you think of what do you feel about this module, Andy?
Yeah, I saw it come by in the news, but I haven't had a chance to look into it. So this is my first kind of real look at it, and it's very clever. I mean, I have a lot of this functionality and other stuff already, like you mentioned, some of the module names. So but it is nice in a fairly small package, and it's pretty to look at. So that's another thing. It's doing something visual. You just sit there and get transfixed on it. You know, if you're bored or not, can't come up with any ideas. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, my heart sank a little bit because this kind of overlaps my area and the GP82 a bit. But it is it is a different kind of that's the modular world. If you have the people are going to keep on making modules that overlap other people's modules. It's just the way it is.
Does it have the ratchet thing that you have? Is it?
It's kind of yes and no.
Yeah,
I think the devil's in the detail. Maybe in the details, it kind of doesn't put a focus on that. So that is one string to the bow on the GP82 module. The GP82 module, of course, has a clock divider and a gate processor. This has 4, one of the 8 things at a time. So
yours is slimmer, so it takes up less space.
Yeah, so this is 8 HP wide, but you get obviously four sets of outputs, and you also get the B outputs, so you're getting twice as many triggers. And but the CV control is kind of similar to the GP82 in that sense. This obviously they can do a lot more with because those LED rings, they can do a lot more complicated functionality that can be tricky if you just have numbers to look at. I mean, you look at cheat
good
sheets,
feedback.
Yeah, it's so that's a classic kind of user interface win there, guys. That's impressive, and I think that's probably what's causing a lot of people, not just the flashy lights, but also just the visual feedback. I can see a lot of people just insta buying this for that reason. But you are right, it does overlap other modules. So, we've got a bit of mutable instruments, we've got a bit of the GP82. No demos yet using a step sequencer, but I'm sure that won't be far away. It's just not particularly Ben's thing. His demos tend to be a bit more... he tends to sort of go for more creative patching, I think, these days, rather than showing a step sequencer doing things. It's kind of... I think he's more into that now. So... Yes. So I'll take that off stream. So yes, cool. It's it's pretty well priced too. So but as I said, good luck getting it. I don't know when they're gonna replenish stocks and how much the stocks, how large the stocks are going to grow before they start flying out the doors again. So if you do see them come up again, I'd probably think about grabbing one. It's going to be great for people who haven't gone through that whole module history of mutable instruments and various different other creative things in the last really 10 years. If you're just coming into modular now, a lot of people are going to say, just get this, because this is going to cover a lot of bases that of previously released modules. I guess this is now the way of modular, is that we're now building upon... we're standing on the shoulders of giants, I was thinking. And
the
now,
thing that really sucks if you get into modular now, you go modular grid, you'll be completely overwhelmed.
Yeah,
that is true.
And also, sometimes, depending on what group you're looking in, your search term, sometimes like half or a quarter of those are no longer made. So like you got to fish through all the stuff that's still available. So.
Yeah, it is getting a bit chaotic.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes. So I think that's why we're getting into that. I think we're getting into that land where the loudest and most publicised voices are beginning to win. I can see a bit of an arms race going on in terms of advertising, especially on YouTube. So yes, I'm glad I'm not really in that game. I just sit down here with my little boutique modules, and my wonderful friends who've already said they're happy to keep on buying my modules. So that's great. Over to you. Next product, I reckon, Henrik.
Yeah. Let's take the Lyra 4 from Soma Laboratory. Anyone knows anything about this one?
Not really. No, I haven't. I just saw it come out, and I saw a quick demo of them using them side by side, 2 of them, because you can buy them in a pack of 2 apparently. I'm not sure why they've done this because, it's like a mini Lyra 8, but only half as,
Well, they had it for a while. I didn't know they were making another
did they?
version. Yeah.
All right.
When I bought my 8, I had a choice of the 4 or the 8, and I guess it just disappeared at one point.
Right. Yeah, no, it's. I didn't really know anything about it. So, because if you buy both of them, it's not that much cheaper than buying an 8. So, I know that it's stereo. They're pushing the fact that you can have it in stereo because you've got 2 of them.
They used to have 8 kits as well. If you wanted to put your own together, they had 8 kits.
Oh, did they?
Make those. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're pushing the stereo element rather than it just be mono. But
so is this more of a case of reissuing an old product, updating it a bit, and bringing it back into their lineup?
Must be, because I don't remember what the difference was in the original.
No.
But no matter which one you get, if you can't afford or don't have room for the bigger one, they're great fun. So.
I love the Lyra 8. It's great.
I don't use mine as much as I should, but
I don't. But I'd like to use it live at some point.
So, Ian, being a Lyra 8 user, can you see here kind of whether it's just literally a split down the middle?
Because I'm not, and like I say, I haven't analysed it at all. I don't quite know. I can't quite tell. There looks to be quite a few things missing.
A lot less knobbage, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just the 4 versus 8, but the stuff at the top.
Yeah, there's a whole road missing, isn't there? By the looks of it. But so no, I can't give you any more. I don't know. I should research this, shouldn't I? Really, but
I don't have mine handy to pull out. It's tucked away.
No.
Oh, we can bring it up again on a future show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that. I don't know. You've got to cover it. They bought a radio thing as well. Are you covering that, Henry?
What?
The radio thing.
They've literally. I got a video this morning about some sort of weird radio thing.
No, not.
All right.
No, not today.
No, it's not announced today.
But we can look it up. We can look it up.
We can look at it another week. It literally has just dropped. Yeah. I think it's just. Like I say, I only watched half the video. And I thought that's not for me, if I'm honest. It seemed that you couldn't tune it into one particular channel. You would get all of the channels from one particular area of the world at once, which does sound very Soma-like, doesn't it? But you can do that anyway. You can just.
You need to stack up. You need to stack up a lot of transistor radios. Sorry, Henry, you go.
Yeah.
Was it a module, or what was it?
No. It looks like an old style radio, a little wooden type thing, and then they had some, like the Pulsar 23 had some points where you would look like an aerial onto it, or a piece of wire onto it, and then you would obviously, I think, pick different areas. But like I say, I didn't watch the whole thing, so I sort of, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much it cost. I completely dismissed it when I realised that it wasn't the sort of thing I was particularly interested in.
Yeah.
Well, I actually already hacked. There's a model of radio that was popular going around for a while, where you hack it, put a CV out on it, so you can actually use any radio source as modulation.
Yeah.
So I haven't used it for a while, but I did a little hack on this radio. It's pretty clever, a little trick these guys had.
Cheap. I'm sure. I don't think this didn't look very cheap.
Yeah. Also, OP1 had a built-in radio for modulation too, if you want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I bought the aerial. Although I didn't need to. Sorry, go, Chris.
The Polyen tracker even has an FM radio in it. I don't think I've ever switched it on, but every so often I come across it and go, I should probably switch that on and see what it does. But yeah, FM radio. It still amazes me that they're still broadcasting analog radio.
Yeah.
In around the world. It's like,
yeah.
I honestly thought it was going to disappear, but no, it hasn't. It's stayed, which is handy for me because I kind of like.
If something big happens, it's the only way to communicate.
It's part of the emergency broadcast system here, yeah. So
that's a good point.
But the car manufacturer's trying to shove satellite radio down your throat, which I use, but not everybody wants to pay for radio. So.
All right.
Okay,
it's not
let's move.
not radio; it's content.
Oh,
Let's move on. Will you take
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next, Chris, or shall
Sure. Is it
it's a Malton?
depending on what it is, Ray?
Malton
If I
one?
know anything about it, I'll be happy to talk about it.
Okay, I think you know a little bit.
Yes. Okay. Right. Molten modular. What's this? Robin Vincent.
Robin.
Is our
Robin.
man?
Good old
Yeah,
Robin.
Robin, yeah. Wonderful man. He's created another partnership with Befico. He has a new module here called the Molten Bypass. If you could bring up the image of the actual... Yeah, excellent. What this is it's an effects loop, but it's not your traditional send effects type loop architecture. What it is an inline effects bypasser. So the idea is that you feed a stereo signal in at the top. You then have a send it to your module that's doing the effect. The other inputs and outputs. And then you've got the bottom down the bottom, which is called a launch, which is really just the opposite of bypass. Basically what it is when it's red, your effect is in, and when it's not lit, your effect is out. So to me, it reminds me of kind of like an insert effect bypass on your DAW or your MPC. So it just means that you can kind of do, sort of effects bypassing with the push of a button. It has some other features as well. The actual bypassing operation has a sort of a soft start option, so it can sort of slowly transition back to dry. And I think it also has, yes, the FX gain. So obviously, quite often an insert effect is going to alter your gain level depending on what kind of effect you're using. And in order to balance it with the dry signal, it's useful to have that. You kind of need a knob of some kind to adjust that. So that means you can basically bypass and put the effect in and out again and in again, and you're not getting changes in level, which is the general idea. Anyway, this one is let's see, how much is she? This one's only $120 built. And 127 euros because it's Befico, which is in euros. Sorry, you'll have to convert it yourself. For British pounds, and the kit form is an attractive £75 or 102 euros. This would be quite a fun one. Easy little build, I think, for DIY kits. It's not something I have to admit that I've sort of been screaming for in my system. But again, it's a live performance tool. The other thing I didn't mention, because I can now see it, CV control over the launch button, so you can automate it. Kind of a no-brainer these days. I always forget to look for those, but they are there. So yeah, that's basically what it does. So it's basically an arrangement of VCAs and soft start and ramp generators and lots of sockets. So which is why it's fairly simple module to build, but yeah, effective at doing what it's trying to do. Back to you, unless someone has a question about it. What do we think about this?
Yeah,
I was going
is
to
it
say,
something-
much like the mixer that I have from them, the Hex Mix and Hexpander, this has the same color scheme, just like the DivKit stuff that he worked with them on.
Yeah.
So I could easily add this to my system. The problem is, it's a six part mixer, so I would have to get 6 of these if I wanted to fully engage this. Which is why I have a workaround for this already, using like a sequential switch or some other kind of routing functionality to not have to go through this. I don't have the extra knobbage and stuff that this provides. But it's nice they keep building on this ecosystem they have with the mixer.
Yeah.
But again, it would take up too much room if I wanted to really fully leverage it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He didn't really sell it as being like a channel strip item. He just sort of more thought of it.
You can use it with anything,
sort of,
but it has the same look and feel of the mixer.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, and it's a good point. You could set it up as a set of channel strips. But the wiring would start to get a bit crazy with that many, like 8 of those in a row. So, and then it's when you start thinking, that's when you're better off looking at one of these highly automated mixers that are coming out for Eurorack now. I forget the names of them, what companies are. We've seen them before on the show anyway, some very highly custom. The expensive ones that we don't normally look at, and then we go and buy hundreds of other modules that cost the same and then bang ourselves in the head for being silly. But it's difficult sometimes to fork out a lot of money for something you're just not sure is what you need.
So it's a cool module. It's just it's not 100% unique, I don't think, but it does fill a niche. So
yeah, it's an interesting one.
Then there's this one, ARPS. Do you know anything about this one? Anyone?
No, sorry.
Yeah. Your sound
Neither
generator.
do I.
I do recognise some things on it though. So, yes. I think I recognise, unless that's just... That is there's a microcontroller sitting at the top. That is a well-known microcontroller. Basically a CPU. Another Arduino-y type thing. It's, which one is it? The 40... I can't remember what it is. It's the Raspberry Pi one. There's that little Raspberry Pi module sitting on the top, I think. I've forgotten what it's called. Someone's probably going to tell us in the chat because they remember better than me. So this looks like it might be a... Is this... Who is this from again? ARPS. Is it from anyone we know, Henrik? Is it... Or is this a
Home Back Instruments.
Oh, okay.
Home Big Instruments.
Okay, so I've not heard of
Japanese
them before, so I suspect this is a new company with a new product. It looks like it's an RP2040. That's what it is. There you go. The memory kicks in. RP2040 is a Raspberry Pi, basically a really tiny Raspberry Pi on a tiny little chip. This looks like one of those interesting, Raspberry Pi based
what's the
sound
equivalent, like
modules.
a Pi 2 or Pi 3, or what is it?
It's not as powerful as a Pi 3. It's like it's a little bit less powerful than the small one. What's it called? The Pi Lite? No.
Zero and Pico.
Yeah, it's Zero. It's a little bit lower than the Zero, but I think it's the same chip as the Zero, but it just doesn't have as many peripherals, and it just has a different sort of...
The 2040.
It has a... I don't think it has the Wi-Fi, or does it have the Wi-Fi? But it doesn't have as many pinouts. It obviously takes up less space. It's got I think it's got an RGB LED in the middle, so you can single RGB LED. But yeah, no, it runs the Raspberry Pi, environment.
I've just
so
found,
you can run your Python and stuff like that.
I just found what SynthAddict have said about it. So it's a Japanese developer specialised in small synths, and the core is 4 wavetable oscillators with more than 200 waveforms that can be smoothly changed using corresponding knobs. And then you can shape the knobs with one knob envelope. One knob envelope that changes attack and release percentages at the same time. So the ARPS uses the chaotic note generator, whatever that is, with a built-in scale function. It sounds.
So it's a
tiny,
random,
small, nice big knob at the side there.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, can we have a look at the? Yeah, thanks, Randy. Is this one is this another one we don't want to look at the video of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I promised Ranzee not to play it.
No. That's fine. No, so we can see there. It's it reminds me of we've seen quite a few of these kind of synths coming out now.
Yeah.
These sort of desktop form mini synths with sort of
it's going to be about 100 euros. It's not going to break the bank, is it?
No, that's not too bad.
Plus, we just say plus fees, whatever that is. So, because
it's Japan.
There'll be import duties, won't there? Really?
Yeah.
So,
sometimes.
take that with a big
sometimes-
pinch of salt, I think.
Yeah,
Kind
exactly.
of interesting design there, that little protection bar across the circuit, kind of
Yeah.
like the Native American papoose, so they have the bar across the baby's head.
Yeah, it's actually I'm pity we don't have other angles. They look like quarter-inch jacks on either side, on either end of that bar.
I'm
So I
going
think that's your outputs.
to look at the video and see if I can tell
Yeah.
without the sound
Yeah.
turned off.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. No, he's just one camera angle from the top. Nothing from the side.
Well, at least it's not a render.
No, exactly.
I can I can try to remove it from the share and then play it and see if I can explain something. So you just talk, I'll watch.
Yes, more experimental. It seems to be, and there seems to be quite a lot coming out of Japan specifically. So I think there's I was going to say, kind of a startup culture around synths.
Yeah.
Does it say there's a MIDI out on that, or is it a standalone box with arpeggiators?
It doesn't say on here. It says you can choose various scales. So chroma, Iona, M blues, M penta, and then M penta again, ... whatever that is. And set the root and range of the scale outputs with other knobs.
It's a minor pentatonic scale.
Yeah.
So you don't have to play it, Henry. You can just jump to different
Just
parts of the
set it
chapter
going,
if you
yeah.
want to try and get some visuals. As you said, same camera.
Yeah, I'm
camera
not playing
angle, it's
it
very hard.
just to show where the jacks are.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's a jack going in there now. Do you reckon it's just a 3.5mm jack? It is, isn't it? Because based on this video.
Yeah, it says so.
Compared to
yeah.
the USB
Yeah.
jack, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
definitely.
the
USB-C.
It definitely is an RP2040 sitting on the top there. I swear it is. Unless it's an ESP32.
So those are jacks, not just a support thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's
Right,
actually
right.
quite an interesting approach.
Yeah, the left one says trig, and the right one says output.
Okay, well that makes
Yeah.
sense. You need some kind of
Yeah.
clocking, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, well it's interesting. It's another little sound box from Japan. So
Yeah.
if you're into that kind of thing,
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah.
Everything that says beep.
Did it say what the cost was? I don't think I missed that.
The 99 euros plus fees,
plus-
whatever fees are.
Yeah, plus fees. Yeah.
So
In other words, this is how much we're
less
selling.
than
it.
less than 200 euros. Yeah, less than 200 euros
Yeah.
probably.
So.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next, and that is I'm actually not really ready with this one. I didn't prepare that,
Which one?
but I will be soon. So
It's okay.
So
You need us to
so
pad a
any
bit,
other
Henry?
products?
We'll fill the dead air, shall we?
How
So-
would we do that?
Remember, Henry,
I
when it
can't
gets
think
slow,
of
you're supposed to
anything
sing in
to talk about.
Danish. So
Yeah.
But have you seen any other products that would be interesting to talk about? New products?
Not this week.
No.
I haven't looked this week that much.
No.
The only things I've seen have probably been on another show. Sequential drum tracks emulator,
Oh,
free emulator
yeah.
software.
I saw that was on PSN. I watched that this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing if you want that sort of sound. I'll be honest with you, I don't really need that. But I mean, it's free. Or it's free. Or
that's the thing. Yeah.
throw the chap a few quid. It sounded good if you want that sort of sound.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So,
It's a good way to do it if you as I said, if you've got a niche
Yeah.
need, just make a donate where.
Yeah.
And
That's
then if someone who wants it, rather than trying to, attract new people to the the product, I think it's quite a good strategy. This
but
donateware thing.
you can't knock it for that because it looks pretty good.
Yeah, has pretty good form, that guy too. It's full bucket audio,
Yeah, he's done a few things, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I don't think I've actually downloaded any of his stuff, but
I confess I've got them in my downloads directory. I don't think I've installed them.
right.
But I noticed whenever you download something quickly and you open your download folder and it says saving this file, oh, there's another one here, and you go, ooh, yeah, I kind of did. I've been here before, haven't I?
Yeah.
Downloading free software and then doing nothing about it. Guilty.
And now
So,
I'm
yes.
ready for the next segment.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, one has disappeared. It's been taken down, but I have 3 others, so this is it.
Ooh, ah.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Is that a good price, people?
That's what they were going for before the reissue came out.
Yeah.
About $10,000.
Yikes. But
Yeah.
that's, it does seem about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's,
It's crazy, but
That-
that's what they go for.
If
So you would
that's-
go get it.
Nah. Absolutely.
No, I have the S2400. So
yeah, I'd kind of lean towards the 2400 rather than get one of those, wouldn't you? Surely. But man, some people need to have the original.
these are nice pieces of kit, but the 2400 has a bunch of new functionality with those upgrade boards and extra
Oh
filters.
yeah,
So it's clever stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one.
And then there's this one.
Ah, Jomox.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is?
I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
No.
I know someone who
It's
had
not
one.
bad
He sold
price.
it, but
Can you zoom that, Henrik, at all? The image?
The picture, or
Yeah, just the picture. That's cool.
wow.
Yeah.
the price
cool,
seems not
'cause
bad.
anything-
They're kind of rare now, but
It looks in good nick, doesn't it?
It does. It's quite an attractive looking box, actually.
Mm.
Definitely of its time, though.
Yeah.
Is
It
it a?
looks nice.
Do we know if it's a sample-based instrument?
analog
It's-
drums.
it's
No,
the,
analog. It's analog. Yeah, it says analog. Okay,
yeah, it's like a
interesting.
kick drum thingy, I think.
from 2011.
This must have been. What was the first product that Jomox ever put out? Because I've only ever known them for their sort of their
Well, they have the
sort of
Sunsin
clones.
and the
Yeah.
Neuronium, right?
Yeah, so they're all things I didn't really...
Weird, kind of weird, a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think I only sort of found out about them when they were sort of producing more sort of 303s, 909y, basically clones of alternatives to the Roland gear. That was sort of how I sort of... That's how I think of them, but yeah, they probably have a history that goes back further than that. Not seen this thing before, though. I wonder what year it was.
We can find out, I think.
Synth Explorer.
Let's see.
I think this is their kind of attack on an 808.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it?
Although
It's just
they've
that
got,
what's throwing me is the nines in the name of the
yeah, I think they
instrument.
did that just so they don't get in trouble, right?
Well, they're just trying to throw us off the scent.
I don't know if you can read this.
Yes. Just
Then
about
try
the
to scroll
company.
down.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Resonator, M bass, X bass, yeah. Alpha bass.
That's about it.
Yeah, cool. So it's... Yeah,
Are they still in
so
business
only-
then? Because Perfect Circuit
they
have
still-
got an alpha-based drum machine for sale.
Yeah, they are. They are still in circuit. I think I saw them at Super Booth this year.
Right.
I mean, I didn't see them. I observed them from watching videos. Can
But is
sometimes
the
think-
price bad?
With surprised at the price.
Yeah.
it's a bit-
Is that bad? I think it looks okay.
Probably not too bad, considering that they're not common.
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, their alpha-based drum machine, their current one is $1,800. So
Is that new at Perfect Circuit?
that's new, yeah.
Oh, well, okay, cool.
So this is like half, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what whether you can compare them or not, really.
Tasty.
And then there's this one.
Ah,
Is that? Oh no.
just like the meme you
Oh
had.
no. Okay. I can hear Kent disconnecting. Right
But man, when he got that one tuned that one time, the stream is no longer online, but he did a quick demo on camera. It sounded beautiful.
I can imagine.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Its exterior kind of belies the problems underneath, I guess, but certainly looked the business, didn't it?
It was all over 80s videos. So many bands
Yeah.
had them in their live videos and other videos.
So is that the key? That's the key to 80s videos. Is all the synths used in 80s videos are the synths that are no longer working, which was why they're in the clips rather than in the actual in the studio where they're actually needed. So I've always found that's the case. It's like I remember growing up, and you see the things on the, and you find out later on that's not the synth that was used in the song. It's like, why do they do this to us?
Yeah, but is this price bad?
I would say so.
A resounding chorus of yes.
I guess it depends who's worked on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It doesn't matter how much you work on it, Kent would probably say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of days away from its next major service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, days since last Memory Week service should be a little poster on the wall.
Yeah.
You cross it off every day. Getting close. Better write that album.
Yeah. Well, now it's time for this segment. And John Lemcool from Plugin Guru, who streams every Saturday night, he is the one who has provided the
Oh, you got the video.
what do you call it?
Le Prize.
Prize, yes, prize. And it's Unify. Unify is a piece of software which is a plugin that connects other plugins so you can play them together. So you can play a lot with one finger, and you can split things and do it with both hands and your feet if you want. You can win this if you can answer the question that comes here. And the question is...
You need to use your ears, people.
Yeah.
And your eyes, but
name
preferably your
that
ears.
scent. What is it? Yep. So I think we all already have a winner in the in the chat. I think Argument was the first one Who said?
So do we need the 10-second countdown? 10, 9, 8, 7,
We can
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
Yeah, you can
There
do
you
it.
go. I've done my bit.
Just do the countdown. You were asking, so I just answered. Okay. Argument. You seem to be the winner today.
You should reveal the answer, though, Henrik, in the second part of the video.
Oh, I forgot that. Okay.
It's okay. You're still...
Do you want to hear it one more time? It's
I don't know.
like
Ask
you
the
are
chatties whether
really
they want to
in
hear
love
it.
with it.
I actually own that. I didn't know they had a dog bark in there. That's funny.
It's technically not a dog bark. It's a guiro?
Oh, is it a Quika?
Quika, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a
Doesn't
dog bark.
the
It's pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
exactly. It does sound like a
RX21L
dog.
have that too? I think it has.
Cool. Anyway, it was an easy
I
one.
had an RX21L, and the only thing I loved about it was the tambourine. The rest was so terrible.
Oh, but listen to that cowbell. The RX5, that
You can never have
cowbell.
enough cowbell.
That was
can
that was a bit of a hero in that particular tune.
Yeah, and that day, that year.
Exactly. It is very dated sound.
Yeah. Okay, so it was RX5, and the winner, I have said it, Argument.
Well done.
So, yeah, well done.
Yes.
We have to find a way to
Get his details.
to get his details.
You
So
didn't say who uploaded the video.
What?
Oh, you did. Okay. I mean, you mentioned something about a drum machine the other day, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no. You can
Argument.
see why I held off on that one. It's just very easy to guess.
Boom. Should I post my profile from Facebook so he can write me? I don't know how else he should contact us.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
Usually,
email Ranzee? No.
yeah, usually Ranzee
Yeah.
has a private email with them.
Okay,
So it'd be on the blog. It must be on the blog, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
must
how
be.
do I put them together? Do I reveal Rance's email?
Just aim him at the blog article,
Yeah.
the weekly
Yeah.
blog article he does.
Yeah, so the so that's on Ranzee.
I haven't looked at this week's, but he has it every week.
Hang
That's
on. Ranzee has revealed his email here on his own YouTube channel, so I'll just post that. So you can just Argument. You can just write Ranzee at this address. I posted it from JX3D, but that's the email Argument.
Well done.
Yeah.
Was it the visuals or the sound that clued you in?
I thought the video was great. I love the hand claps.
Oh, cheers, thanks.
Yeah.
Well done, man. Yeah,
The little
that's
sliders
great.
in the grid were the dead.
Yeah.
giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Although my editing software did deactivate itself and refused to activate itself in the middle of actually doing it, and crashed several times. But that's kind of par for the course. So that was a bit stressy. But no, got it done. So
Little trick I found about that kind of nonsense with like Creative Cloud and things like that. Just be offline when you work on your videos.
yes,
Sounds stupid, but just
Yes,
don't let
I-
it talk, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
you'll never have that glitch.
yeah, no, yes. Believe me, when I started trying to bring things back, I was unplugging my internet.
It's so stupid. Just the whole
Yeah,
authorization
the whole
thing.
authorization thing. Yeah, I hate authorizations.
What?
Yes.
What is the worst drum machines you ever had?
Ooh, good question. Is it? I was wondering if people who are Yamaha fans, particularly someone who's a fan of Yamaha equipment, I'm wondering who in the chat would be a fan. How do they feel about the RX series of drum machines? are they the kind of sound that really only made sense with other Yamaha instruments, or can we think of other famous tunes where it's used?
So.
Sorry, missed that, Andy.
I said they're good enough for erasure in the old days. The RX-11 was an early erasure.
Oh, erasure, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one I had was the DD5, which was really crap.
Yeah.
Really crap.
I mean, one of the worst was the RZ1 Casio, which I have.
Oh yeah.
They're cool in their own little way, but they're pretty crap as well. So.
The RX5 it has a few interesting features, like the reverse feature, and it has some pitch bending, which I didn't actually work out how to use. The manual was just, I wasn't going to dig that deeply into a Japanese manual. But yeah, it had some quirky stuff in it, and you could buy the cards for it, the cartridges, which are I've actually seen you can actually get aftermarket ones now with EEPROMs and Arduinos in them, if you want to pimp your RX5 to play your own samples and stuff. I'm not sure I care, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the Japanese company has the add-on kit. There's a little cartridge you can build.
Yeah. It's out of. I think it's out of. I looked at it. It's out of.
I don't have it anymore because they stopped making it
it,
and then they made it again. I got one when they made it again. So
yeah. I think they've.
They still sell the board though, right? You have to get the parts yourself.
Yes, I would say so. You can. I think the board is. You get CAD files or something. I think you can build it yourself. You just have to source the particular EEPROM, the serial EEPROM they use, and then the Arduino that goes with it. Something. Yeah, no, I did have a look at it because curious. But yeah, I can't say it's one of those machines that I plugged in and went, oh, I could use that for something I'm doing now. It was one of those cases where I was just going, oh yeah, I remember why I was really disappointed. But I'm not a huge Yamaha ecosystem fan, so I don't think I was really the right audience for buying it. But it was very much a case of it was affordable, and I wasn't able to get a Lindrum, so it had to be something I could find in a secondhand music store.
With that Farmsonic thing, you can have a lot of fun loading on samples on there. So.
Yeah. Similar thing with my Triple D1. I got quite a few of these sample-based drum machines that are now seriously pimped.
I remember there were some corks in the mid-'80s that sounded really terrible. The clap was something like...
yeah. That's close enough,
I guess the cool thing about getting something like the RX5 was that at least you could get cards, so you could try alternate sounds. So if it had a really weak sound set, you could possibly do something about it. I mean, it depended on what the manufacturer put out at the time, but I mean, more and more the drum machines started getting into that territory of like the Rompler modules, where you basically could large collections of libraries. Didn't quite happen to the same extent in drum machines, but there was definitely like you could get your ethnic sets and your dance sets and stuff like that.
I remember the first drum machine I bought to program, which was the Boss DR220 Dr. Rhythm, and I used it live, programmed the patterns into it, used it live, and actually, for its time, which is obviously the 80s, for live work it was great. Small, portable, battery operated,
Reliable.
You'd never use it on a recording, but
the 220, the 202, the red one, red and black.
I had the grey one. I just bought it up here. They did two versions of them. They had one which was like meant to sound like a real drum kit, but didn't.
The 202 was cool because you have filters on it and other kinds of stuff. It's like
they had an electric version, electric kit version, which was meant to sound like a Simmons.
Yeah,
and didn't. But
well, at least they tried.
Yeah, I remember doing some demos with it. But
how about the D110, the little one with little pictures of drums on it? It's like a 606.
Yeah.
Still got a fondness for that.
Yeah, they're fun.
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
I remember we started with in the band I played in the late 80s We started with 505, TR 505.
That's interesting, right?
It was okay,
Henrik,
and
'cause-
if you held down a button while you switched it on, it would pitch the drums up an octave.
Ah,
So it
I
could
did
do
not know
things.
that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Oh, damn!
I just
wish
read
I'd known
about the
that.
test modes in a manual, and
Oh, wow.
and that was not mentioned. But I wondered, what did that button do, because it was not mentioned. So so that's how.
Too bad it didn't pitch it down also with another button, because that's a cool feature.
Yeah,
Both
that's
samples
much
will
better.
Pitch it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, down's usually crunchier, funner
Yeah.
sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, up usually is just really annoying. I think I pitched up a few of the RX5 sounds for this and just went, nah, down better.
Ding, ding, little sound.
Yeah, it's just like more of that
Then
harsh
we
treble,
got
I think.
a Kavai machine. I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of the first with samples with effects on. So
Oh, nice.
but it was great for the time.
Little zoom ones are pretty good for a while. The RT223 and the RT123.
yes, I had one of them.
Little battery operated one.
Yeah.
Even the Beat Kings who made the Beat Thing they did sounds called the Street Box. It's the same form factor, and there's all hip hop sounds in it. It was pretty cool. Even had a bass line, so you could have a bass line, a rhythm section, patterns.
I had the drum machine on its own, but I also had a Zoom MR8, was it MRT8, something like that, which had the built-in drum machine from V, and the bass thing.
Oh, you're talking about the looper.
It wasn't a looper.
Okay,
It was
a loop recorder one that has built-in drums.
It was meant to be an eight channel recorder, but it had the built-in drum machine.
Yeah,
and
that one.
bass
Yeah.
thing.
I have one of those too.
Yeah.
It's a rudimentary drum machine on it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I remember quite happily programming that for demos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were the best drum machines you've ever had?
Best drum machine. Well,
EMX1, Electribe. Best thing ever.
Could you load your own samples, or was it factory content that you liked?
Can you load your own samples? I forgot. You generally have mostly presets on it. There's the ESX, which is the sampling one, which you literally had to either use the factory presets or load your own samples, because there were no synths on it. But the EMX had all these synth engines on it, and effects and effects sends and stuff, like three effects with sends.
Nice.
Super dynamic with knobs, and it was nuts. It's one of my favorite things ever. But the new Electron 2 was not as good. Just
It's interesting how some of these things are, some features that we see now as being, oh wow, it's got an effects bus, and I guess we are talking about units that are this big back in the day are now coming out with this big.
Yeah.
These guys. Yeah. Like the last one last week, the P6 or something.
Oh, you got.
No, I'm just referring to last week's show.
I still might like. I think to answer Henrik's question about the best drum machine I think I've ever had. I still think I absolutely love my Roland TRS8. TR8.
Yeah, the S.
Yeah. It's still flexible and it's easy to program, and
Although TR8 was more fun because it had the scatter on it, so you can get even crazier with it.
Yeah.
I never warmed to the Roland scatter effects. Just didn't.
No.
I don't know.
When you set them up just right, they're
me.
really nice. You got to play with them a bit, figure it out. Most people just do like the preset things that just hit it.
I guess so. It depends on what kind of music you're doing. I guess because my music's predominantly dance orientated.
Scatter on the System 1 was amazing as a synth, so it's really nice.
Okay.
I love my LXR02. It's totally analog, except for the sequencer, of course. But these are some of the sounds.
They're nice.
That's cool.
Mm.
The white noise.
Yeah.
It's
And
got, it's got a chip
I don't use it very
vibe
often,
to
but
it.
I do still love the SR16. I think I said it last week. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned it. Yeah.
But I don't use
It's
it very
interesting.
often. But I mean, you know, if it broke, I'd buy another one just to have because they're cheap.
Cool.
You know.
So the LXR, Henrik, what do you like most about the LXR?
That it doesn't sound like other machines, and that it's so
Yeah,
easy
so it's
programming,
easy to program and unique.
easy playing
Sonic.
live.
Cool.
Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
live. Okay.
And actually, when I got tired of the drum lock, I took out this one again, and
Yeah.
yeah,
gave you
it
that
wins.
vibe.
It wins. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you that vibe. Yeah, there's nothing better than equipment that inspires you. Even when you're feeling a bit like jaded or down, putting up a bit of equipment and going, yeah, I remember what's so cool about this. Kind of frees up those blocked channels with all those negative thoughts. That's what I find about synths in general. When you've got the good one, you go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Synthesizers. Have you noticed, or is it only me? Whenever you play a Roland synthesizer, it's like something in the top is missing.
Oh, so like a lack of sparkle.
It's too clean. Too clean. It's like they have removed what makes it.
I have heard people talk about that before. I've heard it mentioned before that sometimes the Roland sound has that sort of slight roll off on the top, like that anything that was a little bit harsh really offended them. So they said, no, must be removed.
I've only got the S1, so
Mr. Dari-san, remove noise.
I don't know. I got some nasty stuff on my Roland, so
yeah.
Just depends on the unit.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of don't feel that so much on the System 100 clone stuff, Behringer clone stuff. You could definitely get some pretty nasty top end out of those guys. But yeah, the filters, once you start putting things through the low pass filters on those, it does tend to kill quite a bit of that. You have to put stuff after it if you want to get some of that grit back.
Yeah.
So what you put
I
in
used to
after.
be a person who swore to Roland, where all my gear was almost all my gear was Roland, and I loved the sound. I still love the sound, but after finding out that the top is missing on most of the gear, even the new Gaia too.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I would like to open it up and remove that filter if possible.
Unfortunately, it's digital, so it's probably being done in processing. So
Yeah.
even worse still, you can't even turn the feature off. Like turn off Roland mode. It's like, ka-ching. Oh, there you go, firmware setting.
Yeah.
And now I'm a gnarly beast again. Yeah, no, it's interesting, isn't it, that we've over the last 15 years we have kind of had a resurgence in the sort of more gritty end of synthesizers. Really been kind of celebrated. Certainly a big resurgence in following. For
Yeah,
the
that
nasty
was a
stuff.
time in
Yeah.
the early 90s and mid 90s where everything should be clean and cleaner and cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the JD800 was super clean, but also they had the best sample rate. Most things crunched their samples, but they had like full quality samples in that thing. So it sounded really nice. D50 had some crunch, which was cool, but the 800 went nuts, just super nice.
Yeah, there was a quest for sort of audio fidelity around that period where, that's where we were getting digital mixing and digital mixing desks and digital
It was
recorders
expensive
and
back then because you only had memory for little
Oh, yeah.
transients, right? So to have a full quality sample, that's a lot of chips in there.
I tell you what, all the sort of slightly earlier stuff where they're doing sample playback synthesis combinations that the manufacturer was doing, trying to extract the maximum out of the limited technology they had. Some of the tricks they were doing with samples and variable playback rates and just kooky stuff does my head in. It's quite, would have been an interesting time to be an engineer. I guess there weren't that many around the world either doing that. I mean, you think about how many people now are in that headspace.
Yeah.
We've got people in Japan making cool little boxes.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
only
clever
born,
stuff.
probably only born, 25 years ago.
I didn't really know about the Roland thing because I was never big on playing Roland synths. I only ever played them in studios to do one particular job. I was always Mr. Korg.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's on all Rolands.
No, it's definitely not because I don't hear it on everything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
but
definitely
I didn't
pretty
hear it
ones.
either for many years until I got my hearing aid again, or my hearing aid, and then my hearing again. Then I heard it again, but it's lacking something in the top. But I don't know if it's on all models, on all of their synths. But
I mean, the thing that sucks is as you get older, you lose your highs, so it's kind of hard to
do.
tell at some point.
yeah, but
right?
I got them back with the hearing aid. So now I hear what I heard in the 90s, where I heard it first time.
Henrik is
But the
bionic
mechanism
man.
is still damaged, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even if the hearing aid, you still have the hair cells that don't pick up the frequencies just right.
And
Yeah,
the hearing aid
yeah,
will change
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah,
True.
unless you get a cochlear implant or something.
But that's also why I'm asking if you have noticed it.
I see, right.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I've not so. Sometimes I notice it, but only on, as it said, only on certain synths, particularly through filters. So, yeah, anything modular, any of the modular Roland stuff definitely was like bypass the filter and the grid is there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the synths, I guess, like your Jupiter series and stuff like that, you really couldn't really bypass the filters.
I mean, I
So-
know my
but
Always had a kind of a sound to it. It's kind of a smoothness.
I know my hearing's holding up pretty well, my age, but there is one frequency in this ear that is missing, and that's because I spent too many years stood near drummers and then hitting
Wow.
cymbals. It's
Interesting.
just one. It's just one frequency,
Yeah, cymbals.
Yeah.
and I have to compensate for it but it's only in this ear as well. But I wore earplugs when it was unfashionable to wear earplugs.
Oh yeah, I always wear earplugs to
Yeah.
concerts.
Yeah.
yeah. By the way, Andy, why don't I feel the sound is tame on a Hydra synth when I do it on a Roland synth? There is something about that sound, even though my hearing is bad.
But I mean, how many Rolands have you compared though? I mean, you're probably right, but I don't know how common that is.
Only some old JVs and JD
Older stuff, yeah.
and
But not the modules, right?
no. And my old MKS didn't sound like that. MKS7, it had some top. But the Gaia 2 has that lame top.
I don't like the guy too at all anyway, so
But,
it didn't sound good to me.
but I have considered a more expensive Roland, but it scares me that this happens on.
I mean, I'm playing with the V-Synth. That thing does all kinds of crazy stuff. It's not missing anything from what I can tell. So
Yeah, but I like everything else inside the machine. It's just
Yeah.
the sound. Yeah. So it's not that I think Roland is bad. It's just I hear, there's something I don't hear that I hear in other synths.
they're being gatekeepers, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's possible, yeah.
But have you noticed things like that on other synths?
I haven't.
No, not really.
I've heard it in demos, so I've sometimes seen a few sound, comparison demos where, I think I was watching one with Take 5, and they were comparing the filter or something to a different filter in some other machine, and they said, it seems to have smoothed out the top end. It's not as fizzy as the other one or something, or an Oberheim or something like that. I've only ever really sort of, gone into that much detail listening to a video where they're talking about that, as opposed to actually finding stuff around here that's got that kind of sound. Certainly, I guess, you hear it more in digital synths that are emulating something like a soft synth.
Yeah, I mean, because I had a Korg Poly 6 for such a long time that whenever I listen to an emulation by Korg, they don't sound anything like it. And then,
so one wonders.
It's the same when I had because I owned the DW6000 and the 8000, and they have a very distinctive sound that when I hear one now, I'm sort of just automatically taken back to when I owned one.
Have you heard the mod wave compared to the 8000?
The mod wave doesn't get anywhere close.
No, okay.
No,
because you use the same waves. So.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, and I actually did a Max MSP version with the original waves.
But could it be something about the law in Japan that Roland and Korg do that, because the mod wave is evolved in the West. So could it be something like that?
I mean, I was quite excited when they first announced the mod wave, and when I actually heard it, I thought, this doesn't sound like it. Because I would have bought one to keep. If it sounded like a DW8000, I would have kept it. But no, it doesn't. So I'm waiting for them to bring out.
It just goes to show, it's like the whole Fairlight argument. Like, you get the Fairlight samples, but you don't have the hardware, so it's not going to sound like Fairlight.
Yeah. I mean, and I only sold my DW8000. I've had two of them, but I only sold the last one, which was poorly. The keyboard was crap, but actually I used to use the MIDI to another keyboard. I only sold it in the pandemic, so...
I still have two dead 8000s. I got to get them repaired.
Yeah. 8000's a great synth.
Yeah, well, from memory, the technology used in the DW8000 was quite crunchy technology. So
it was, yeah.
It would surprise me if it was a bit rough around the edges sounding.
Yeah, it did.
That you wouldn't necessarily reproduce that easily if you were operating at a high sample rate or on a Raspberry Pi. Like
I need to go back and look at my Max MSP version that I've created. I mean, I created the whole thing, the old DW8000 on it, but I haven't looked at it for years, and it still had bugs, so I never really got to finish it. But I mean, the biggest thing for me was sorting out how to make the polyphony work, and I can see even now I can't tell you how I did it, but I did it.
You mean handling the MIDI processing?
Just getting more than one note at a time. It took me weeks, But it's all still there somewhere in a folder on my backup drive. I should go and have a look at it again.
Yeah, resurrect it.
Yeah.
I mean, you noticed on the old Roland stuff is most old stuff is, you get aliasing on stuff. That's the thing. It's obvious, but I don't seem to notice any problems on the sounds on most of my stuff. Yeah. So.
It did actually look like a DW8000 as well. So when you first opened it up, it just looked, I had the screenshot of it.
That's
like I say, I was given the original waveforms as well, so I used them. But and it was a labour of love for a good 18 months working on that thing.
That sounds like a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Helped me pass my masters though. That's why I was done. I would have done that just for fun. God, no. Jesus.
Only weird people like me do things like that for fun.
I was literally up there till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to fix some bug, And then once it passed, I just stuck it in a folder and just never looked at it again.
Wow.
I should give it to the Max MSP community and let them just do what they want with it, the code.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll fix it.
Although with those samples, it'd be an issue, right?
Yeah, there would be. Yeah.
I asked about synths with a tame top. Now let's take the opposite. Do you know any synths that are really screaming, are really able to do the wildest thing ever?
I'd say anything by Dreadbox.
Yeah.
Usually pretty wild. But they can be smooth as well. But they can be wild territory. Some Buchla patches was burn your eardrums. So
Buchla can have that throaty low end that the CS80 can have on it, and more. Some Buchla patches are amazing.
try to
I'd like
sound
to
like
get
a
more
booklet.
into. I'd like to understand the booklet. I mean, my plan at some point is to start looking at the booklet
Start with
easel on
like a
the,
zero coast and then work your way up. You know,
just because I do not understand it at all.
they're odd, but
Yeah.
after a while you get
And that,
the feel of it.
yeah.
It's a bit like FM. It's like
Yeah.
Actually, you have an iPad.
All
get
of your-
those booklet apps on the iPad.
Is
They're
there?
very cheap. Oh yeah, there's a bunch
All
of them. I'll tell you what they are later.
easels.
Yeah.
Easel
I've got the
and,
easel on the Arturia easel, but I've not done anything with it.
They're not officially booklet apps, but they copy lots of booklet gear.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, thanks for that, Andy. But it is something I'd like to understand a bit more about because it's. I mean, I try. I mean, I think it was the London Pedal Synth Show. I went and tried to play the booklet and couldn't make a noise out of it. You know, so sort of I slinked away. With my tail between my legs.
You needed the sort of in to get started, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
There's missing
exactly.
something missing, one fundamental difference that's like, I can't get started with this thing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah, I think someone's brought it up in chat already. Any of the early Korg MS series can sound pretty gnarly because of that filter.
MS-10. I mean, I nearly bought an MS-10
Really
when it
intense.
was first out. The MS-20 is brilliant. I've always like that.
I always wondered.
Actually, interestingly,
get one.
the MS-20, the closest emulation of the MS-20 is actually the one that's built into my Kronos.
Cool.
You know, having compared them, because I've sold a few MS-20s. No,
I
the
love
mini
the
one.
PS10 on the Nintendo DS. That was great.
Yeah.
Because you can sequence it and you can do all kinds of fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
But the mini MS-20 is pretty cool.
It is cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I always wanted one. Never got around.
And it's
to it.
not too expensive.
No.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
And you
It's on
can
the
open it
bucket
up
list.
and do all the patch points you want because
Yeah.
they left a lot of cool goodies in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. I mean, certainly when we were selling Korg stuff over the pandemic, I saw loads of them. It's like one a month were going out over the pandemic.
Yeah.
People just buying them. Just
Oh yeah, they were selling out like hotcakes here in Australia too. It's part of the reason why I never every time I was in the market for something, I was like, oh, is it? Not in stock.
yeah.
Well, it's funny when I first saw it. It reminded me of the digital collection that they had, the plug-in collection where they had the fake MS-20,
the Korg
the patch thingies, and it's like, oh, that's just the. Oh no, it's a real one. Oh,
Vintage
cool. It looks like they used the same
collections.
case almost for it. It's funny.
Ah, but they had the yellow patch cables.
Yeah. I have
That
yellow
made
patch
the
cables.
difference.
Yep. Good stuff.
And I do like the Op 6 because I kept the Op 6, and I like it because I don't like. I mean, up until that point, I mean, Korg lent me it, and I said to him, "You know, I don't like FM, don't you?" And they went, "Yeah, just do what you want with it, really." And you know, I got it and kept it because I think it's great.
Actually, I bet you do like FM because you like OBE.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
There you
I only
go.
said that for Robbie if he's still in the chat.
Yeah.
No, and actually, I had for a while. I had the Yamaha is it SR222. That the FM on that was great. In fact, I put that all over the last album I did. You know,
Yeah,
it
FM8 is a
sounds-
great plug-in with all kinds of fun, quirky stuff in it.
And the argument's right. MS-10 and MS-20 do sound very different. From each
Oh
other.
yeah. They definitely do. Sam Battle gets quite a lot of good use out of the MS-10.
Mm.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
He tends to use it for top lines. He likes to solo with it, which is not really my thing. It's a bit cheesy for my taste, but
Yeah, it's like Suzanne Ciani last night was saying that for top lines she uses the Animurg app on the iPad.
Cool.
That's what her top lines are. Everything else is Buchla. But she let it slip. She wasn't sure she was allowed to, but apparently they're bringing out an Animurg 2 for the iPad.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, people.
Yeah. Well, you heard it. You heard it in Union Chapel last night first, and you've heard it second here.
Well, because they already had a second version out. There's already 2 versions of it out. So
yeah, but she said they're working on a. She must have seen it, and then she said, "Well, I'm not so sure. I was supposed to tell you that." I said, "You just told 400 people, so it's out there."
great app, and in fact,
it is a good app. Yeah.
They actually took some of the analog waveforms and put them in the Theramini.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So there's analog sounds in there. It's very nice. Fun stuff. That's part of my little demo the other day with Theramini. I used a bunch of those analog sounds.
I need to go back and look at that, Andy.
If you like Pog, the Pog, it's really fun because you get this like organ sounds out of it, and it's really weird.
In fact, the support act for her last night was a lady from, I think she's from Iceland. Didn't speak to us, but she was a virtuoso theremin player, and she was brilliant. I can't remember her name. I'll dig it up and let people know. But she was. Her music was very Icelandic, but her playing on the theremin was really, really good. You know.
Well, it's tricky because the theremin is a whole set of techniques, but then it also doesn't like to have electronics around it. Yeah. So in a live performance or with gear around you, totally screws it up.
Yeah.
You need a minimum safe distance.
You need to have like a safety zone, exactly. Because I did a hardware jams with it a while back where I brought in a theremin as a special little surprise for this little alien jam we had to do. And I had it on a mic stand, and I was playing some stuff on the table. And then at one point, I pivot the Theramini into the screen, so it fits perfectly. You can see it and everything. But then it was too close to the gear, and it was all screwed up.
Oh no!
Because when I tested it, it didn't do that. But something else I had turned on or tweaked was just off enough to throw off. So then my range was all messed up, and I couldn't play what I was supposed to play. And so I kind of, you can see my hands kind of go like this at one point. I just moved the thing back out.
I mean, she did. Yeah. She just had the theremin, which looked like a Moog theremin, and she had a laptop with obviously doing other things on that. Hekla is her name. Hekla.
Oh, okay.
She's really good. You know.
I'd love to get a Theravox, but Theravox is still pretty expensive. Yeah. I mean the Clairvox.
Oh yeah.
The fancy version I have with the big wood case.
Yeah.
Has proper video out on it and stuff.
Yeah, this had a big wooden case, but it's square.
Yeah.
Or a rectangle, really was.
Oh, that was probably if it was big, it's probably the old one.
Yeah, I thought it.
RCA style.
Yeah, it looked in really good condition as well. But
they have one of those at a local science museum in San Francisco called Exploratorium that still works to this day. You can go and play an actual RCA theremin.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. And it sounded beautiful, you know, because it can, let's face it, the theremin can sound a bit shrill.
Like a woman's voice, you can make this very soft.
Yeah, but it sounded great.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, she obviously wasn't using the quadraphonics. The back speakers weren't being used for her, but even in stereo, it sounded really good.
Yeah, the original has all the vacuum tubes in it. They just sound great. It just really works.
Something so simple.
Yeah.
Could sound so, something very simple, like in terms of synthesis. It's the control that gives it all that emotion.
Well, the new stylophone one is pretty cool too. It hasn't come out yet, though, right? No one really has it out.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
There was a pre-order, wasn't there? They launched a pre-order.
I see people with them on stage and stuff, but they're not really for sale anywhere.
I was half interested in it, but I didn't. I wanted to actually play with it first because I almost didn't want it to be like a toy, because it could be like a toy.
It feels toy-like. It's it's low cost.
Yeah.
But it's cool they gave you the ribbon, so it's also like a Tritonium. It's not just a theremin. Right. So you have this combo instrument in there, which is fun, and the effects are built in, and so you don't have to plug a bunch of stuff together. There's a built-in speaker.
Yeah.
So it's real nice and convenient for that purpose. Yeah. Turn it on and go. Because I was always annoyed by that. I have the electronics issue, plus to have it plug into an amp, and all this kind of stuff. The Theramini has a little built-in speaker on top.
Right.
Somehow they isolated that, or they calibrated it so it doesn't care about the electronics there. But it's a small speaker, so if you want the big bassy, because in the right setup, if you get far enough away from the thing, it gets real low and throaty and stuff. Cool.
Waggle's just put Hekla's channel up. Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Margot. That's
Cool.
brilliant.
Nice one.
Yeah, there are a bunch of doing Moog demos for Dorrit Chrysler was one. There's a couple of the ladies on YouTube who gave me some good tips and tricks for guitar pedals to use with the theremin,
There was
like Arpanoid and some other cool stuff, so you can add arpeggios to your thing. And
There was somebody did a presentation, Sarah, somebody at Synthfest, not last year, probably a year before, and she did a lot of theremin and Max MSP stuff, and she was great. Her stuff was really, really good.
it's not Sarah Bell Reed, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'll have to dig her out.
Okay, I thought it was
There's a video of her presentation, probably on the Sound on Sound site, because I think they were sponsoring it. So that's definitely worth a look, because she was great. She was really, really good. No, and she demystified the whole thing. She showed you how Max MSP works, and then she showed how she interacted with the theremin in it. So she was creating these patches and linking it all together.
That's cool.
Okay. Should we wrap it up for today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll
sure,
be
if you
here
want.
again next week.
Yeah. And well done. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we
Henry.
got through it.
Oh, great
Well
leader.
done, Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good job, man.
Yeah, even for my blab.
And-
And
And the lighting in the back of your studio has not changed the whole time.
No,
That's true.
exactly, yeah.
I can even play some of it.
Thank you, Berta Azure, Sarah Angles. That's her. She was fantastic. So check her out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was a plan to do a senior stream next week, but because I'm here instead of Ranzee, I will do Ranzee's show. So
Oh, it's
perhaps the week after, or maybe next week. I don't know yet, but it's a lot.
yeah. Don't wear yourself out, Henry.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Take
Need a
it
break.
Streaming
Yeah.
business is more taxing than you realise.
Yeah. Keep your health up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
thank
Yep,
you for
thanks, everyone.
pretending I was Ranzee.
Yes.
So let's all wave to Ranzee.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Throw your
It's-
sense of
And
screen.
to the channels
Yeah.
and to
And just like it's harder
Each
than
other.
it looks, Ray.
It's
harder than
definitely
it
is.
looks.
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you all, channels. See
you
you
guys.
next week.
Yeah. Bye.
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 Bye.